Hello, this is McD the Beast, and this is McD Sports 4 coming to you today with my Week 2 college football picks for the 2021 college football season. Before I continue, don't forget to hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. We appreciate if you do that. We're really trying to go to the channel. We do have a subscriber goal of 500 by the end of the year. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're new to the channel, you will not regret it. So last week, Week 1, great week of football from Thursday through Monday. Great week of football. I did keep tally of how we did this past week, which I will do every week, and to add to the overall standings, which I will show you right now. So in week 1, overall, we went 19 and 11 overall in picking games. We had a pretty good week. Against the spread, we went 17 and 13 against the spread. We had a pretty good week against the spread as well. With our locks of the week, we did go 4 and 1. With the upsets though, we were able to pick 2 out of 5 upsets there. So we did go 2 and 3, and our overall record now, including week 0, we did pick 4 games on week 0 out of the 34 you're seeing here. 24 and 11 overall, 20 and 14 against the spread, 5 and 1 in locks, and 3 and 3 in upsets. So we are getting off to a pretty good week of picks so far for college football. This week we were doing 25 games. So last week we did 30. Usually I just do 20 a week, but this week I picked 25 games. I just couldn't really make up my mind for the final few slots. So I just said screw it. We're gonna go with all 25. So we have 15 straight up, 5 locks of the week, and 5 upsets for the week. We do picks overall and against the spread here, as you can see. So you'll see how that will work when you watch the video. But here we go. We're going to start off with our straight up picks. The category I like calling them. First pick we're going to be making is Illinois versus Virginia. Virginia is a 10-point favorite. By the way, these spreads are from DraftKings. They're official as of 1 a.m. So tells you how late I'm up making this video because you're getting this on Tuesday either at 9 or 10 p.m. or somewhere in between. I mean 9 or 10 a.m. somewhere in between. I don't know which time yet. But Illinois versus Virginia. Virginia, they are a 10-point favorite at home. Illinois last week, they lost to UTSA. They're 1-1. Virginia beat William and Mary, if I'm not mistaken. This game's in Charlottesville, Virginia down there. I do think Virginia wins this game. I did go a little bit back and forth with the spread, but at the end, I do think Virginia wins this game by around 13 to 17 points. I have it down as. I have Virginia winning this game. I'm going to go Virginia in this one. I'm going 31-18 Virginia. I'm going to take them by 13 points. So I have them winning and covering. The next game, to me, this is the game of the week. I believe it's number 3 Ohio State versus number 12 Oregon in the McD Sports 4 top 25 poll, which is out. Go check out that video. You won't regret it. It's the number 1 poll that matters. It's number 3 Ohio State versus number 11 Oregon. So we do have 2 top 25 matchups this week. Ohio State is currently a 14.5-point favorite at home against Oregon. Just tells you the perception of the Pac-12, I think, really, with this one. I do think Ohio State wins this game. 14.5 is just a little bit too much for me. I am going to take Oregon plus 14.5. I do think Ohio State is the better team. I do think Oregon overall, I think the number 1 question for them is quarterback. And I know this is a 9 a.m. start for them. I do think that will play a factor in this game. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to pick Ohio State. I do have them winning this game. I'm going to go 31-21 Ohio State. I have them winning by 10. In my opinion, they're just a better team. I think C.J. Stroud, if he plays like he did last game, I think Oregon actually has a pretty good shot in this one. But I think he'll play better than he did against Minnesota. And it's not that he didn't play bad against Minnesota. It's just that it was kind of inconsistent at times. But I think he'll be more consistent. 31-21 Ohio State is my score for the game of the week on Big Noon Kickoff. Next game, Middle Tennessee versus Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech, they're ranked number 18 or 19 in the AP Top 25, if I'm not mistaken. They're only ranked number 23 in their poll. They're a 20.5-point favorite at home against Middle Tennessee. A Middle Tennessee team that did put up 50 points on FCS. I believe they won. I forget who they played, but I think they won something like 50-15, something like that. Middle Tennessee, Not that high on them. I do think they will be fighting to get to a bowl game. Virginia Tech surprised me last week. Offensively, they do have to be a little bit better. I don't know what you're getting out of Middle Tennessee. I definitely think Virginia Tech wins this game. The spread is pretty tough though. With this one, I mean, if this was a 21 or over, I think I would definitely be taking Middle Tennessee. But I'm going to say Virginia Tech wins this one by 3 touchdowns. I have a 35-14 Virginia Tech. So I'm going to go with Virginia Tech winning and covering 35-14 over Middle Tennessee. Next game is Air Force versus Navy. Big game here. So well, I shouldn't say celebrating, but ceremonial game here for 9/11, the 20-year anniversary of 9/11 this Saturday. Navy is a 5.5 point dog at home. Unfortunately for Navy, Air Force will be going ahead and being Navy in this one and covering the 5.5 point spread. Navy is just not that good of a team in my opinion. I believe that Air Force is just a better team. I think Air Force goes in there. I think it's kind of low scoring. I have a 24-14 Air Force over Navy, but I like Air Force on the road as a 5.5 point favorite to win and cover. Cal versus TCU. Last week, TCU beat FCS. Cal went ahead and lost to Nevada. One of the two upsets we did predict correctly on this channel. I did say Nevada will beat Cal week one. Cal in that game, they jumped out 14-0, but went ahead and blew the lead. TCU, they blew out their FCS opponent. The game's in TCU. I do think TCU wins. I am going to take Cal, however, plus 11.5. I think the way Cal plays, I think that number's a bit too large. I'm going to go ahead and take TCU in this one. I have this game 28-20 TCU. I have TCU by 8. So go ahead, give me TCU for the victory, but go ahead, give me Cal plus 11.5. That number's just a little bit too large for me. All right, next game. Texas A&M versus Colorado. A&M is a 17-point favorite on the road against Colorado. This game is in Mile High Stadium. So it's not there in Boulder, it's in Mile High Stadium. I like Texas A&M. I like them to win and cover. I'm not that sold on Colorado. I know they beat Northern Colorado 35-7. I could see this game. I mean, I could see Colorado maybe getting a backdoor cover, but I think after last week with Texas A&M, with them going ahead, getting off to kind of a slow start against Kent State, I think they want to get off to a fast start. One argument I am hearing about Colorado in this game, at least covering the spread, is the atmosphere or the altitude. I do think that might affect Texas A&M a little bit, but I still like Texas A&M in this one by at least 3 touchdowns. I actually have this game that pinned down here. I have this game as a 43-20 game. So I have Texas A&M by 23, 43-20 Aggies over the Buffaloes of Colorado. Next game is Iowa versus Iowa State. This game is the game day game, the college game day game. This is number 9 Iowa State at home taking on number 10 Iowa. In the McD Sports 4 poll, we actually have a number 9 Iowa on the road versus number 10 Iowa State at home. So we do have the two teams flip. It's going to be a hell of a game. I'm taking Iowa State to win this game, but definitely give me Iowa plus 4.5 in this one. I definitely think this is a field goal game either way. I think it's kind of low scoring. I'm gonna go ahead and take Iowa State 20-17. I just think they're a little bit better. I think they were looking ahead to Iowa from last week when they were facing Northern Iowa, and I'm gonna go ahead take the Cyclones and the Cyhawk Trophy series against Iowa in this one. Next game is Texas versus Arkansas. Arkansas is a 6.5 point dog at home against Texas. I might be prisoner of the moment here, but I'm going to take Texas to win and cover in this one. I'm not that high on Arkansas. They kind of got off to kind of a slow start against Rice. More on that in a second. But I do think that Texas. Very impressed with them last week. Maybe I'm a little bit of a prisoner of the moment. I know that game's in Arkansas. I know a lot of Arkansas fans want to beat Texas, but I think Texas goes in there. Won't surprise me if they even win this one by 10, 14 points. I only have it by a touchdown, but it would not surprise me if they win by 10 or 14 points by a little bit more. I have it Texas 28, Arkansas 21. I think it's a back and forth game, but I think Texas scores a late touchdown there to get the 28-21 victory. Next game is Appalachian State versus Miami. This spread opened up as a 7.5 points in Miami's favor. Miami minus 7.5. It jumped up to 9. Um, Miami last week, just absolutely embarrassing. Appalachian State, they went ahead and beat a bad East Carolina team. More on that in a second. But in my opinion, I look at this game. I think Miami wants to go out and prove something. They were dropped out of the top 25 poll. I like Miami to win this game. And I'm gonna like them to cover as well. I think they win this one by 2 touchdowns. I have it 34-20 in Miami over Appalachian State. Won't surprise me if Appalachian State goes in and at least gets a cover here. But I'm gonna trust Miami. I think I know some people are calling for Manny Diaz's head. I think that's ridiculous. In my opinion, I think he could stuff with a capable coach. I think the only question for Manny Diaz at this point is, can he win the big games? Obviously, he can win a big game against Alabama, but let's be real, they weren't beating Alabama even if Miami had their best performance. But I like them to win this game. I think they bounce back here. They win and cover 34-20 Miami. NC State versus Mississippi State. This game is a ACC versus SEC game. Kind of a sneaky game. Mississippi State, they are a 2.5 point dog at home against NC State. NC State, they went ahead and beat South Florida. South Florida does not have a quarterback. They might be one of the worst teams in college football, if not maybe even the worst team in college football. Mississippi State, they had to come back down 20 to Louisiana Tech, a game that we did say was going to be a bit closer than what the experts think. Because Mississippi State, I believe, was a 22, 23 point favorite at home against them. I did say that Mississippi State would not cover that, and they surely did not. They only won by 1 point, 35-34. I do think NC State's the better team. However, I'm going to go with Mississippi State in this one to pull off the minor upset. The upsets we do here, they have to be at least 3 point dogs, so this didn't qualify as an upset. But I'm gonna go ahead and take Mississippi State plus 2.5. I think they win it outright. I'm gonna go with the Bulldogs over the Wolfpack in this one. Go ahead and give me Mississippi State. I'll take them to win this game 27-21. I think I don't know if they're the better team out of the two, but with the game at home, I do think it's kind of a pick'em game, as you can see by the spread. I do think that Mississippi State goes ahead and pulls off the mild upset 27-21. All right. Next game in the straight up category, the last five: Missouri versus Kentucky. Big SEC game here. This game could determine who finishes possibly even second in the SEC. Last week for these two teams, Missouri kind of struggled against Central Michigan. I mean, didn't really surprise me that much. They may have been looking ahead a little bit to this game. Kentucky, they took care of business against UL Monroe. Kentucky is a 5 point favorite at home against Missouri. I do think with the game being at home, I do think Kentucky finds a way to win this game, but I'm going to definitely take Missouri plus 5. I think this is a tight game either way. Even if Kentucky wins by a touchdown, I'll just bite the bullet and take the L on the spread. But I'm going to go ahead and take Kentucky win, but Missouri to cover. I have Missouri plus 5, but Kentucky winning. I'm going to go ahead and take Kentucky in this one. I think it's low scoring. I think it's kind of an oddball game as well. I could see maybe a safety in this game or something, kind of throwing off the score or something like that. I'm gonna go Kentucky. I think this game is pretty low scoring. I'm gonna go Kentucky 19, Missouri 17. I have Kentucky by 2, 19-17, Kentucky in this one. Next game is Washington versus Michigan. Michigan is a 7 point favorite at home against Washington. This is the ABC night game. Washington was absolutely embarrassing against Montana last week. I mean, you cannot be losing to an FCS opponent if you're Washington. Michigan, they had a pretty outstanding win against Western Michigan, 47-14, if I'm not mistaken. In my opinion, this game, I do think Michigan wins. The question is, should I take Washington plus 7? Maybe I'm a bit prisoner of the moment, but I'm actually going to say Michigan wins this game by 2 possessions. And I'm going to go ahead and take Michigan minus 7 as well. I got Michigan in this one. I think it's kind of low scoring, but I don't think Michigan hangs 47 on Washington, but I do think they can maybe get to 27 or 28. I have it Michigan 26, Washington 16. I think it's kind of a weird game, but I'm going to go ahead and take Michigan by 10 in this one, 26-16, Michigan. Next game is Utah versus BYU in the Holy War there at in-state rival. Utah right now is a 7-point favorite on the road against BYU. Definitely give me BYU plus 7. A lot of these games between Utah and BYU, I don't know the absolute fact on it, but I believe it's like 8 out of this past 9 have been within like a possession. So definitely go ahead, give me BYU plus 7. I do think Utah finds a way to win this game, though. I was not overly impressed with BYU in week one. That was a game that I thought they should have won by at least 2, 3 touchdowns. So I'm not overly impressed with BYU. But I do think with a rivalry game here, especially at home, I got Utah in this one. I think they go ahead and find a way to win this game. I wasn't very overly impressed with Utah either. They kind of got off to a slow start against their FCS opponent. Go ahead and give me Utah on this one. Kind of a crazy game, in my opinion. I'm going to go 27-24 Utah. I'll take the my field goal. I think this will be a classic. Go ahead, give me Utah by field goal. But go ahead, give me BYU plus 7. Next game is Stanford versus Southern Cal. Southern Cal is a 17-point favorite at home. Southern Cal will win this game. The question is, do they cover that spread? I think they do. I was not impressed with Stanford at all in week one. I think Stanford's going to struggle with scoring points all season long. Um, I think they're a team that might have trouble even cracking like 24, honestly. I think Southern Cal, I do think Stanford defensively is pretty good. So I do think the defense will try at least keep them in this game here for like a half. But at the end, Southern Cal just a bit too much offensively. They did kind of impress me last week as well. Southern Cal, that was a game that I thought they were definitely not covering the spread in, but they did. I'm gonna go ahead take Southern Cal in this one to win and cover. I'm gonna go Southern Cal 31, Stanford 10. I like Southern Cal by 3 touchdowns. I'll go 31-10 Southern Cal. And then the final game in the straight up category is Hawaii versus Oregon State. Oregon State is an 11-point favorite at home. Normally I would take Hawaii plus 11, but the thing is, the way Hawaii looked in week 0 against UCLA. I honestly don't know what they did in week one. I believe they played at FCS, if I'm not mistaken. I don't even know if they won or lost that game. That's kind of my fault for not knowing that. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and take a chance at Oregon State. I'm not really that confident or sold that they're gonna cover this spread, but I'm gonna go ahead and say that they do, because I do have this game labeled as a 13-point win as Oregon State. Uh, I have it 34-21 Oregon State. I don't have much faith, and I definitely think they win the game. I don't have much faith in them covering, but I'm going to say they cover 34-21. I think the Beavers get the job done against Hawaii. So now it's our locks of the week. Now, these are the 5 games against the spread that I think will hit no matter what. The first game is Kansas versus Coastal Carolina. I like Coastal Carolina win and cover in this one. Kansas, they found a way to beat South Dakota. That's a good thing because that's going to be the only win of the season. Coastal Carolina, uh, they will go ahead win this game and cover, in my opinion. I think they win by at least 4 touchdowns. They beat the Citadel 52-14. I'm going to say they go ahead and beat Kansas in this one. I have it 45-10, Coastal Carolina, them winning it by 35. I think Coastal Carolina does whatever they want against Kansas there at home. So go ahead, give me Coastal Carolina to win and cover. South Carolina versus East Carolina. I like South Carolina minus 1.5 on the road. I think they win and cover as well. East Carolina's not that good of a football team, in my opinion. Defensively, they did not look that good. I know South Carolina, they faced an FCS school, but they looked pretty good. They did. 46-0 was the final in that win against Eastern Illinois. I think South Carolina, I think they go ahead and win and cover. Won't surprise me if they even win this game by more than 2 touchdowns. I have this game labeled as South Carolina 39, East Carolina 20. So I actually have it by 19 points. 39-20 South Carolina in this one. Tulsa versus Oklahoma State. Um, Tulsa, they lost to an FCS opponent 19-17, if I'm not mistaken. I forget who it was. I know Oklahoma State struggled against Missouri State. They won it 23-16. But a few notes from that game. I did not know Spencer Rattler was out because of COVID protocol. They'll get him back. That must have happened like the Friday night or whatever, or that morning, because I did not know about that. And two, Bobby Petrino is the head coach of Missouri State, so that he knows a thing or two about coaching football. I know a lot of people don't like him, but he does know a thing or two about coaching football. The games in Oklahoma State, they won, bounce back. Tulsa, they lost a lot from last season. I like Oklahoma State to win and cover in this one. I think they take care of business. Huge bounce back win here. I like them to win this game. I have it 47-22 Oklahoma State. I think they bounce back big in this one. Ball State versus Penn State. The way the Penn State defense looked, I think they're going to stop Ball State pretty easily. Their offense will play better against Ball State. Ball State, they beat an FCS opponent, I believe, 31-21. So not overly impressive, but I'm gonna go ahead and take Penn State to win and cover. I think this is a game that could Ball State might not ever get points in. They could get shut out in. I'm gonna give Ball State a little bit of a benefit of the doubt, give them a touchdown, but I'm gonna give Penn State 38. I'm gonna go 38-7 Penn State in this one. And then the last lock of the week, Georgia at home taking on UAB. Georgia's only a 24.5 point favorite at home in this one. I like them to win and cover. The way that defense look, I don't know if UVA even scores a point on them. Now, granted, I do think the second and third strings will be playing in this game for Georgia at some point, so I do think that UAB will eventually score on them. But I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to take Georgia to win this one. I think the offense bounces back some too. I'm going to go 44-10 Georgia on this one. I like them by 34 points. So now are 5 upsets of the week. So this is the category where I picked 5 upsets against the spread. I think these 5 underdogs outright win. They have to be at least 3-point dogs for them to be in this category. The first game is Houston versus Rice. I think Rice, they're an 8-point dog at home, kind of a rivalry game for the city of Houston. I think Rice wins this game outright. Maybe I'm a bit of a prisoner of the moment because I was really disgusted with Houston after week 1. I think Dana Holgerson's in a lot of trouble, by the way. Especially if he can't pull out this one, I think he's in a lot of trouble there. But I like Rice in this one. I said that I don't think Rice does well in the non-conference, but I do think they do well in the Conference USA play. I think they pull off an upset in this one. I see this game being very competitive, maybe kind of high scoring. I'm gonna go 41-38 Rice in this one. I think they pull off the upset. I'm taking Rice +8 to pull off the outright upset. Next one is Buffalo versus Nebraska. This is my lock upset of the week. I think Buffalo goes in and beats Nebraska. I like Buffalo +13.5 to go ahead and beat Nebraska. Yeah, I know Nebraska went ahead and beat Foreman. They went ahead and beat Foreman. I think 51-7, 52-7. Not overly impressive in my opinion. I mean, they kind of got out and struggled in that one as well. I think Buffalo pulls out the outright upset, and the reason why is I actually think they're the better team. But Buffalo hung like 69 on a team. I think Ragnar they held it was like 69-7. I like Buffalo to win this game. I think they're the better team, honestly. I'm gonna go 30-24 Buffalo in this one. I think they're the better team. So go ahead, give me Buffalo. I'm taking them +13.5 and to win outright. Next one is Pitt versus Tennessee. I'm taking Tennessee to win this one outright. They're a 3.5 point dog at home, primarily because they are the home team. Pitt, yeah, they beat UMass. That tells me nothing. You're supposed to blow out UMass. Tennessee, they blew out Bowling Green, kind of the same thing. I think this is pretty much an even game, so I'm going to go with the home team in Tennessee. I'll take them +3.5 to pull out the outright upset. Wyoming versus Northern Illinois. Maybe I'm prisoner of the moment here, but Northern Illinois looked very impressive against Georgia Tech. I did not see that coming, so I think I might be prisoner of the moment here. But I'm going to take a swing at Northern Illinois to pull off the upset here against Wyoming. They're getting 7 points at home, a 7-point dog at home. So I'm going to take the swing here and say that they pull off the upset against Wyoming. I'll be honest, I don't have much faith in this one, but I have find 5 upsets, and let me tell you something. 4 and 5 on this list. Maybe not so much number 5 because after I did my second scan, but it was kind of tough finding a 5th upset. Not gonna lie, so I went with this one, Wyoming versus Northern Illinois +7. I'll take Northern Illinois in a low scoring game. I'll take them 20-17. Wyoming's kind of a low scoring team, anyways. They're not very good at covering spreads because of the style they play. So go ahead, give me Northern Illinois 2017. And then the last upset, Temple versus Akron. Temple went ahead and let Rutgers hang 61 on them. You gotta be kidding me if you're Temple. And I know Rutgers is supposed to be better and all that, but I mean, you gotta be kidding me. You go ahead and let Rutgers hang 61 on you. Akron, yeah, I'm not high on Akron at all. I believe Auburn beat them 60-10. But I'm going to take a chance on the Zips. I'm going to take a chance on them. I think this game's going to be a sloppy game. I'm going to take Akron and win this game. I'm going to go ahead and say they win this game. I have it 25-20 Akron. So I'm going to take a chance on the Zips. I really am. So go ahead and give me Akron this one 25-20. So those are our 25 picks here for week 2 of the college football season. So comment down below, tell me your picks. I always like hearing from you all. Thanks for watching the video. Hit the thumbs up. Please subscribe to the channel. We really appreciate if you do that. This is McD the Beast signing off.